Hello, marketers. Hope you're doing fine. First of all, thank you so much for giving love to the Marketing Soul. Great Marketers Club is growing and we are getting strong with the passionate marketers onboarding every day. It is a blessing to see all this, and very soon we'll be going by the invite only membership. So, those who have not joined yet, please join. You're going to have the best of the experience in the marketing community ever. Link will be in the description. Please subscribe to the channel to stay tuned to the latest learning from the Marketing Soul. Today, we have Vanshika Mehta, branding and communication consultant with us. Vanshika needs no introduction, but at Curiosity, here is her introduction. She helps startups building brands that are loved. An astute professional in brand research and creation, she is expert in branding, storytelling, and communication. From edtech to fintech till FMCG, she has built multi-channel stories for them, which has over time led to the favorable bottom line results. LinkedIn Top Voice of the Year 2021. Welcome, Vanshika Mehta, to Hashtag Marketers League. It's an honor to have you with us.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. Thank you.
Now it's feeling empowered sitting face to face with you, Vanshika.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great. So, initiating the conversation, welcomes to the Marketing Soul as our community mentor. So, how is the feel? What are your take on it?
Oh, it's awesome. I love talking about marketing, branding, communications, and I think there's a lot of knowledge online, and there's also too much knowledge online. So, I mean, my preferred method of learning is to learn through videos like these, podcasts, audiobooks. So, I'm glad we're doing this together.
Great. Thank you so much, Vanchika. So, initiating the discussion with the first concept in the branding is the storytelling. So, what it is storytelling, and is it important for the branding?
Yeah, so storytelling is basically a concept where you take facts, you put them into a sort of linear, sequence, and you kind of bring in emotions and turn facts into something more. So that is like the basics of storytelling, and storytelling is something that's so important specifically for branding and marketing in today's day and age. I think that there is no brand that doesn't do it well or has manage to create a brand without doing it. I think it's super important. And yeah, I mean, I think you can't do marketing and branding without it, because it's like humans don't like to be talked at, they like to be talked to. And that's, I think, the biggest shift that storytelling brings in. And when you do it properly, there are massive, like you said, bottom line results that come out of it. And the reason it comes out is very simple. It's again because of emotion, and emotion takes up a space in your mind, which helps you recall that brand or that story or that video that was created and shown to you. So I think it's an absolute mandate. Every marketer should definitely focus on learning this skill and getting better at it.
That's right. Emotions plays a very critical role, no, while deciding or influencing our thoughts or a purchase. I do agree, absolutely.
Right.
So, why storytelling is an art? No, what are the type of storytellings we can use in blogs or any mode of a communication?
So, I mean, there are so many different kinds of strategic narratives. So, if you just look it up on Google, there are many types of storylines. So, for example, there's the Cinderella story, which is, something, you start poor, something magical happens, and then, there's a high point, and then it goes back to a low point. So, that is like the typical Cinderella storytelling. Then, for example, there's that Harry Potter storytelling where as the story progresses, it gets more and more and more interesting. So there are many of these kind of structures that are already there. I mean, it's nothing that I've created. So if you just look it up, I think that is the basic of what everybody should learn, in terms of at least getting used to the different story narratives and story arcs. The better you learn how to use these arcs, and you manage to put in emotions into it, the better the story will come out in the end. So there's not one straight formula for everything. Like I can't tell you, if you do a blog, do this. Instead, I'll be like, okay, these are the 3 4 things, pick what works for your blog right now. One of the examples could be, any FMCG brand. They're doing such wonderful storytelling by turning their products into something more. So I think just keep looking around you, learn the narrative arcs, and then just see what works for that particular use case. There's no rule of thumb within that.
That's right. Vanshika is recommending to have your eyes open to surf around what actually can actually work for your brand. So absolutely. So what rules, or as you said, there are no rules, but still I would like to have an understanding. Or no, what are the ingredients for a great storytelling? Some top 5 that you use or you would like to recommend.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, keep your audience in mind. That's the basis of every story, right? If you don't know your audience, you don't know what they will react to, what they like, what will get them an emotion. So understand your audience very well. Second is know the channel that you're producing the story on. YouTube videos react differently than Instagram reels. Blog articles will act differently than, say, WhatsApp forwards. So you can tell a story on any platform. So as a marketer, platform is very, very important. And the third thing is, I think as a storyteller and somebody who's been doing this now for a lot of years, I think length matters a lot. Like nobody's going to go to Instagram to watch a 50-minute video, but will someone do that on YouTube? Absolutely. So length is super important because you can convey your message in a very, very short time. You can also convey the same message in a long time. So I think be aware of what length you're picking. I mean, there's again no right or wrong with that. And then the last one I would say to tell a good story is have a good hold of grammar, vocabulary, words, usage, because a lot of times, stories are basically words put together in a nice way, right? Like I think like Shakespeare was, for example, genius. Like he told us stories in a way that got us engaged, and the language he uses. If you read Shakespeare today, it's totally like it look like gibberish, but if you actually spend time to read it, it is actually beautiful stories. So learn the grasp of the language, learn how to maybe twist words, learn how to put in your personal touch, because I mean, you can talk plain English, obviously, but that everybody can do. But if you turn it around a little bit, twist something here and there, it will grab a lot of attention. And to be honest, like attention spans are dwindling, but at the same time, audiences know where they're going to get valuable information. So if you build trust, then attention span can come secondary. But if you're a completely new brand, getting into the market, then I think attention span is your biggest enemy. But also, if you manage to get it, then nothing like it.
Right. So basically be true to yourself, what actually you want to communicate. That's
Yeah,
right.
totally. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So when we are talking about the ideas here, storytelling works on ideas. So how we what is any process? Of course, it may not be, but some your thoughts around how to be creative enough in the ideas regarding branding.
Yeah, I think mind mapping is a great tool for storytelling and branding because, I think as storytellers and as I work in brand, I have to research a lot. And when I'm researching, I get a lot of ideas. So mind map helps me bring method to the madness, or like at least put things in the right place so that I can understand them. And also, I mean, another thing with stories is that you can maybe find hidden insights on mind maps, which you might not have seen earlier because of your data being all over the place. So, for example, like just writing notes on a piece of paper, but when you put it into a mind map and correlate bigger topics to subtopics, that's really where the magic happens, and you can really create something beautiful. So simple technique, very easy to do. I mean, you don't even need your laptop, you can just draw it out on a piece of paper, and it'll really really help you clarify either branding or your storytelling.
I think this is interesting. Can you share more about this mind mapping? Some example or something. One line
Yeah,
around it.
so for example, recently I was researching for a client that is in edtech, and we were building up the positioning statement, the story, what does the brand stand for. So I basically like drew up like, okay, so the company is in the middle, then these are the two, three factors that matter to them. For one, for example, like the classroom experience. Then the second was like the teachers. The third was student engagement and communication, and then based on that I drew up other insights. So for example, within, so now we have this like one line, right? So within the fact that say your teachers are great, why are your teachers great, and then come up with more reasons. And then I also like read research papers. So for example, I was reading about how teachers actually play a really large role in the teaching process. Like if the teacher itself is disengaged, like the student won't learn. I was reading papers on how do teachers become better teachers, and why do those things matter to the attention of the student while they're in the class. So then I just wrote up like bullet points against all of them, and then I had this like huge diagram which was like a circle, and then like squares to like talk about the main topics, and like there were more like hands coming out of each topic. And yeah, when I presented it or showed it to my client, they were like, oh my god, this is really interesting, because all the insights are kind of come together when you do it on a mind map. So it's very simple, nothing too complicated.
Oh, I think you have made it simple the way you have, explained it to us, and I'm sure this is going to help a lot of
Yeah,
branding experts to manage this aspect of bringing creativity and all.
yeah.
uh, when COVID has come, I think it has fast tuned the progress of using technology in the marketing system as well. So, what is the future of
Right.
branding that you think will be there?
I think, I mean, branding has always been about humans, about emotions, and about the story. And now, even more so, because, a lot of the theories that we had in the past, like, for example, nobody goes to a supermarket anymore, right? How do you market the same product online? Like luckily till now we haven't seen like ketchup and mayonnaise and mustard advertising on our social media, but that day isn't far, because competition is ever rising. Like there are so many new brands doing so many cool things, that online is going to be a major channel if things don't restore back to normality. And like say for example, like the supermarket concept goes away as a whole, online is going to be the channel to get audiences attention. And I mean, along with that, there are so many other things like I personally say like organic marketing is the best, because it actually helps you build an engaged audience with people that want to listen to you, right? When people do paid advertising, do I want to see an ad for ketchup? No, I don't care. But if I see a great brand that is doing something cool in the technology space, and I myself go and follow that brand, my affinity and my interest in that brand is already higher than someone shooting me with a paid ad. So that's why I think brands today really need to focus on organic marketing, building a community, because paid is a direct derivative of how much money do you have right now and how much money are you willing to spend tomorrow. If for example, I hope not, but if things still keep going south, and the first thing that will get cut is your paid budget, so you should never rely on that. I mean, branding is all about community, about real human emotions, about stories, about making that person interested in your brand, right? So I think branding definitely goes before marketing. And specifically now in today's day and age, like it has to, there is no choice. I mean, we all know the power of organic, but yet we all go down the performance path, because it's like put in 1 lakh, get 3 lakhs of revenue. But
True.
at the same time, like, is that the best way? I don't think so. I think if you do organic really well and people start talking about you would actually get interest from people that care about your brand. So It's not going to be quick, it's not going to be fast, but that is the best and the only way to create a brand.
Uh,
I mean, think about it, right? Like companies have money. Companies spend on personal branding, right? Sorry, on company branding. But at the same time, think of any creator that you know. Think of Ankur Warikoo. Think of Raj Shamani. Think of Jay Shetty. These, I mean, not necessarily, but these people in the beginning didn't pay for ads, right? People followed them because of their own credibility, and they built such a huge audience around them organically that now the paid marketing is just like, oh, it's like, Ankur Warikoo has a Red Bull, and that's about it. Like, it's not like Ankur Warikoo starting from ground zero, putting money in paid and then getting an audience. So personal brands generally don't have the money to spend on paid. Like, even I have an Instagram page, I have a LinkedIn page, I'm all over, but will I pay for someone to listen to me? Probably not. So the only way I will do it is organic. And I really hope more brands take this into consideration, that organic is a very sustainable channel if you do it well. I mean, if you do it well, there is nothing that can fight you on an organic ground. Paid, it's like tomorrow a new brand comes in, they put in double the budget, your audience is gone. You will have to bet harder on that same keyword, and you will end up spending more money. So I mean, it's very obvious, and I think the benefits of organic are just, they just last way longer than paid marketing, according to me.
So, I mean, that's a beautiful explanation. And the two words that I've picked up from the conversation is organic and use influence to build your brand. That's the future. There is nothing tacky about it. Vansh has given a simple formula to all of you. Perfect. So, can you share some case study of branding, helping our viewers to understand, like, how this can plan up in a better way? Some example.
Yeah, so for example, I recently worked on a brand that is basically doing custom furniture and custom home decor for your house. They're based in Delhi only. And so for them, for example, it was branding from scratch. So they just had a name, but they didn't have, like, for example, we started off with the colors, then we did the font, then we worked on the positioning statement, like, who is your target audience, why should they care about you, what do you bring to the table, what's your differentiation. All of that goes in the positioning statement. Then we worked on the storyline, which is the strategic narrative. So that is like your tagline, your like about a section on the website, your general PR release, that block that goes out on all PR releases. Then we worked on the messaging structure. So for example, like, every brand can only talk about end things, because, like, for example, imagine if Red Bull talked about anything and everything, they wouldn't be known for what they are known for today. So every brand has to build these messaging structures. So we did messaging structures. Then after that, we did share of platforms. So for example, like, how you use Instagram will be different than how you use your Facebook, will be different than how you use your SEO. So based on that, we decided, like, okay, like, this topic, let's keep it for Insta, this let's keep it for Pinterest, this let's keep it for Google. And based on that, we did a share of platform, saying that, okay, this channel will be known for this. And then after that, we laid out a 3-month marketing plan of how to take the brand forward. So what all needed to be done. So for example, you need a website, you need to have blogs, you need to action. I mean, branding is all strategy, but and then you have to execute on it. So then we created that whole plan of, like, what do you do, how do you do it, how does your Instagram page look, what does your blog look like, all of those things. So yeah, we just, yeah, end to end, that's pretty much what branding is, I mean, in terms of how I would do it for a client.
That's right. That's right. I think this is interesting. This is interesting. Moving to our last leg of this conversation, Vanshika, it would be unfair for me if I don't ask you this question. You being having amazing followers and the engagement, uh, how to do personal branding?
I think, I mean, honestly, there are only two things it boils down to. It boils down to being the best version of you online. And the second is that to build authority and to build trust, you need to be seen. Because at the end of the day, like for example, like take LinkedIn, it's a great platform. Nobody has access to paid marketing except brands. Like neither you neither I can do paid marketing, so whatever numbers we have on our profile, it's all organic. And I mean, I've been doing LinkedIn now for almost 4 to 5 years. Like every single day I post something on LinkedIn, even if it's something small, even if it's like something I read and just like an understanding. I generally try and post every day. I mean, there are some weeks I succeed and some where I get a little busy, so I mean, I would say at least 4 times a week. Because at the end of the day, it's algorithm, right? Even if I have 100,000 followers, it's only going to show it to n number of people. Like not all of my posts like blow up and get crazy engagement, right? And that's by default, right? Like imagine if LinkedIn just sent out every single post to everybody, then our feed would just look like a bunch of like so much content. We'd get overwhelmed. So I think, yeah, just be the best version of you that you can be online and show up regularly. I mean, I think those two are like the bottom line. I mean, there is no secret hack or there's no course that'll tell you something else other than this. I mean, obviously these are the top level things. After that, it comes down to execution, right? And all of this is great till you actually get down and dirty and do it. So you should just get your hands dirty, start posting. It's okay if your English is also not good. It's okay if your grammar is not good. Like literally nobody cares. Nobody is going to come and tell you that your grammar is bad. It's okay. I've seen people posting on LinkedIn and Instagram who don't have correct grammar but still have like amazing followings. So don't trip up on those things. I think that's just an internal fear you have. Just go out and post. I mean, I think there's no better way to learn than actually doing it and then looking back at the results.
That's right. And take organic again. Your answer is all the same. Is working around organic one. So, Vanshika
Yeah.
has given a clear recommendation that you have to do hard work. There is no shortcut, and go for organic one. You are going to win. Perfect. Loved it,
Yeah.
Vanshika. But Vanshika, I also I saw it from your LinkedIn profile. You have started an initiative of training 300 people to get free from the job and all. So would please share something more about
Yes.
it? People would like to get inspired with what you say.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Yeah. So basically, I mean, I quit my job and I started freelancing in January of 2020. And here we are in like mid of May 2021. And it's been an amazing journey. And honestly, I think the amount of opportunity that I've gotten, the kinds of brands I've worked with, the kinds of projects I've worked on is just insanely awesome. So I would say, I mean, the gig economy is now coming to India. It's a very new concept in India still. A lot of people still have not like taken the jump or don't know where to begin or are unsure of what might happen in the next like 1 month. But I think, the future is not based on you sitting at one job for 9 hours a day. The future is using your skill set, maximizing your time and, really doing the best you can in the time you have and making the money based on your skill. So yeah, I mean, the future is definitely going to become gig and more people doing, part-time. I mean, I guess in a way it's like part-time jobs for different people. And so I started out Mission 300, which is basically my initiative to, teach 300 people by the end of this year, how to jump freelance, what do you need to know, how do you do it, how do you get your first client, all of that stuff that I have gone through myself. I mean, over the last year and 4 months. And yeah, it's just my initiative with a lot of personal anecdotes so that a lot of people get trust and believe and have confidence to take the next step. So along with the class, which is over the weekend. It's a one-time 2-hour class. I support them with an ebook also. It's about, I think, 20-25 pages of ebooks, which I've written, which is everything in detail about what we talk in a class, templates you can use, all of that stuff to get you started. And along with that, I have WhatsApp groups. So every batch has their own WhatsApp group. And, I said I'll support them for 3 months into their journey. And I mean, if you go and ask anybody, happy to give you names. Like, go ask them and ask them if I'm active. I mean, I'm super active on all of these groups because I feel like it's my responsibility to give back and make sure that they don't feel lost or they don't feel underconfident in what they do. So that is basically Mission 300. And I would love to have a lot of you join in. Batch 5 is happening sometime soon, probably in the next week or two. And yeah, I would love to have everybody on board. I mean, even if you want to pick up a side hustle, I mean, this is for you. It's not a class tailored just to brand and comms and content. It's open for anybody. It's more around the processes and the things you need to know and how to get started. So it's generic information for anybody who wants to join. And yeah, it's a one-time investment, and then you get to have access to me for 3 months. And I will answer all of your questions and also promise to support you with relevant information that will help you learn. So yeah, that's about 300, Mission 300.
Very nice. So, guys, gig economy, side hustle, and your extra income, anything that you have in mind, just go and check out the Vanshika's page, and you are going to have a lot of experiential learning that you can get and from this course also. So, thank you so much, Vanshika, for being with us today. But before we go,
Thank
a small question: what is your thought? What are your thoughts for us, the marketing soul, a community of passionate marketers?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, passion can only be a derivative of how much action and how much energy you put into it, right? You can't say you're passionate about something till you actually dive into the deep end of the pool. So, honestly, as a marketer, you have the opportunity to keep experimenting, to keep growing, to keep exploring. So, equate your passion with that and do things that can cause a difference, to your consumer's life. As a marketer, you have to take a back seat. The show is not about you. The show is about the audience. I mean, I think if you remember that, nothing like it.
Great advice from Vanshika. Thank you so much. And we will definitely
Thank
work it out around to support the community, to support the members, grow each other. That's the prime objective of the marketing soul, that we learn, network, and grow. So thank you once again,
you.
Vanshika, for being with us today. It's been an amazing learning from you, and wishing
Thank
you all the
you.
best for your course also.
Thanks. Thanks, you too. Thanks for having me. It was such a pleasure. And if anybody wants to reach out to me to chat about brand com, storytelling, freelancing, LinkedIn is the best place. Send me a personal note, please, because if see, I get a ton of requests every day, and I to sift through it is very hard. So if you've seen this video and want to connect, just tell me you've seen this video and you want to connect, and I'll be more than happy to at least start off a conversation.
Absolutely. So thank you so much, Vanchika.